Yeah, here we go. Happy Friday, you sexy sons of bitches, you. Welcome in to another edition of the Joe Raineri Show, brought to you by YouWager.com, YouWager.eu, and, of course, our good friends at Miami Acura. In fact, we're kind of growing here. We're growing leaps and bounds. We do have a new sponsor who you're going to get to meet a little bit later here in the show at the bottom of the hour. I'm telling you, you guys are going to want to know what this is, because this is going to change the way you guys deal with daily fantasy sports. It's called Thrive Fantasy. If you haven't heard about it, I can promise you within the next hour, you guys are going to be jumping on your phone, getting ready to download this thing. It is the coolest daily fantasy app. Blows FanDuel and DraftKings out of the water. We'll introduce you to the CEO. We'll tell you why it's such a cool thing and why we are certainly happy to have them aboard here on the Joe Raineri Show. Also, our friends at Wager Talk, you know this. We love Ralph Michales. He joins us every Tuesday for college basketball, every Thursday for college football and the NFL. But today we've got the man behind the man responsible for putting together, at least one half of the man responsible for putting together WagerTalk.com. It's the Prez, Lawrence Prezman. We've been getting a lot of questions from you guys regarding the NHL and how to approach betting on the NHL. And honestly, there is nobody better who tackles the NHL, understands it, understands how to bet it, understands how to approach it, than the Prez. So we're going to introduce you to the man behind Wager Talk here. We talk about him all the time here on the show. You're going to get to meet the Prez himself at WagerTalk.com, and he's got an unbelievable offer for you guys if you want to take advantage of the knowledge and the expertise. That's coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Plus, we'll have your college football NFL plays of the weekend. Not to mention, there's a big game tonight, college football. You got Fresno State taking on Boise State. Boise State being an underdog at home for the first time since, I don't know, Reagan was president. I don't even know who the hell. I have no idea. It seems like it's been a very, very long time since Boise State at home has ever had to deal with the underdog role. But you know what? They're dealing with it tonight. Fresno State coming to town. We'll let you hear what Ralph Michales thinks about that game if you didn't get a chance to see him on the show yesterday. Plus, we'll cover the Alabama game, the Clemson game, a whole bunch of games we're going to get you all set up with and ready to rock and roll. This is where knowledge comes in, and knowledge is power. We tell you this all the time here, guys. This show is about providing you the very best that social media and online has to offer in the world of sports betting. What do I mean by that? Well, how many of you have come across somebody's profile who swears they're the greatest sports handicapper in the world, right? 95% winners, 98% winners. They never post any of the losers. And oh yeah, by the way, they always post how great they are after the games are over. Have you seen those guys? Because unfortunately, they're littered everywhere on Twitter and Facebook and now Instagram. And it makes it very difficult for the sports bettor to navigate who's looking for some help. And let's face it, not everyone has, 12 hours a day to dedicate to trying to handicap NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball. It's, you've got life. Life happens. But you know what? You do like playing the action, and you'd like to have somebody to lean upon, somebody that does this for a living, somebody who can do the legwork for you, and you'd like to be able to trust them and invest in them. And it makes it very difficult to do when everybody and their mother is telling you how great they are and how, as I don't know what kind of hair that was. It kind of flew in my mouth. It makes it very difficult to navigate through all the shit that is in the ocean here. So we try to eliminate all of that for you. And if they're on this show, then we've already vetted them, and we can promise you that these are the pros. These are the pros. These are the people who you want to invest your effort, your money, and your time with. They're the ones that'll push you in the right direction. Nobody's guaranteed 100% winners. We all know that. Not realistic, okay? It's not realistic. But these are guys over the long haul that will take care of you. There is pride in their customers. Their customers have been with them forever. And if you'd like to hop on board with any one of the folks that we have that come on this show, you can rest assured that these are the real deal. These are the guys that you want to do business with. Otherwise, they won't be on this show, I can promise you. You're never going to hear some tool bag come out here and tell you how he's got 95% winners and he's the great. None of that. These guys don't need to tell you how great they are. The fact that they're on the show, I can tell you, they're the real deal. Their numbers speak for themselves, and they don't hide behind some sort of Twitter name or some sort of website. These guys you get to know. Why? Because they come on the show here. You can ask them questions. You can be interactive with them, and you get to hear them for yourself. And ultimately, people want to do business with those they're comfortable with. And that's why we introduce you to them. We bring them on, the Ralph Michales, the Jersey Kid picks, who tomorrow will have our 2-minute drill just before kickoff on the college slated games. You guys love the Jersey Kid. We all love him. We've got Benny the Boot that will also be tackling the horse handicapping tomorrow. He's got 2 monster races, 2 picks that he's going to share with you tomorrow. Ralph Michales, you know that. You're going to meet the Prez today, the man behind WagerTalk.com. Money Pick Matt, you've met. Also, the Captain's Capping. The guys that we bring on this show are the real deal, and I want you to know that because we pride ourselves on making sure that we're only bringing you the best. Now, the Prez is going to have some NHL knowledge here, betting on the NHL, that you guys are going to want to hear. And don't forget, Thrive Fantasy, brand new daily fantasy app, is coming your way. Okay, wait until you hear about this. We're going to have an opportunity for you. It's going to change. You're never going to use FanDuel or DraftKings again when you have an idea of what this thing does. It's ridiculous. I'm so glad these guys created it. I'm so glad they asked me to come on board with it, and I'm so glad I'll be able to share it with you, with the fine folks at Thrive Fantasy. So we're going to meet Adam Weinstein. He is the CEO of Thrive Fantasy. He's going to be coming on here probably about 42, 43 minutes. But first, we've got to thank our sponsors here, especially the fine folks at Miami Acura. That's right, Miami Acura, 16601 South Dixie Highway, Palmetto Bay. Those of you in the 305, the deals happening right now, unbelievable. The all-new 2019 RDX. Take it for a test drive. You know why? Because it's like driving a house. It's like driving in your living room. It's unbelievable, completely redesigned, and it's got just about every bell and whistle you could ever imagine or ever need in it. Maybe the best part about the 2019 RDX is the price right now. I'm telling you, the price, you'll finally be able to get that car that you've wanted, only at a price you never thought possible. And you can make it happen at Miami Acura right now. So those of you in the 305, the 954, hit them up. Simple, 16601 South Dixie Highway, Palmetto Bay. Those of you outside, just call them, 855-564-4669. That's 855-564-4669. Get ready for a little Thrive Fantasy coming your way here in just about 45 minutes. But first, well, guys, happy Friday. And in an effort to continue to bring you nothing but the best in the world of sports handicapping, I really wanted Kelly in Vegas, Kelly and Stewart, but unfortunately I got stuck with Lawrence Prezman. He joins us via the Miami Acura hotline. LawrenceWagerTalk.com is where you will get him. He is known as the Prez. And Prez, thanks for taking some time and hanging out with us, brother man.
You know, Joe, it is absolutely my pleasure, and you're so right. Kelly would have been so much better, especially on video. But, well, you're stuck with me, and I hope not to disappoint, but I'll try to disappoint at least for a few minutes.
Oh, listen, that ship has sailed, my friend. Not a problem. But we do want to talk, and the reason we brought you on here today is we've gotten an awful lot of hockey questions, especially in the way of handicapping, and I couldn't think of anybody better to talk hockey than the Prez himself. Now, before we get to that, we got to let you know where you can find him, and it's fairly simple. You can find him at WagerTalk.com. Okay, the Prez, you can't miss them. Make sure you head over there. And when they get there, Prez, what do they find at WagerTalk.com?
Well, firstly, Joe, I am the co-founder of this wonderful website. And I mean, really what we are is a sports betting content provider. We've got thousands of articles up. Our YouTube videos are gold. I mean, and they're really becoming quite famous. If you go over to YouTube and you type in Wager Talk, subscribe to the Wager Talk TV channel, I mean, we're doing 15, 20 videos a week. We're getting probably over 100,000 views weekly. You know, it's straightforward sports betting information on every sport from college basketball through to soccer. And we have about 15 consultants working for us. We sell their picks to the general public, but not the old school way of handicapping where we're making up bullshit and trying to scam people. I hope I can say that word on your radio show.
Not a problem.
Scam, I mean.
Yes, exactly.
You know, and the prices are anywhere from $20 a day to $99 a week. I have a promo for your listeners later on in the show. For me, and I'm absolutely rolling right now. But I think everybody would really enjoy Wager Talk, and especially our YouTube videos. I do a 40-minute video on the entire NFL card every week, and it's a lot of fun to listen to.
It's a lot of fun, as a matter of fact, because we have we go ahead. We've had Kelly on the show. We have Ralph Michales who joins us each and every week, and it couldn't think of anybody better, honestly, Prez, to talk hockey and to talk about handicapping hockey than you. I mean, in addition to your NFL and your other picks, there's kind of a soft spot in your heart for hockey, isn't there?
Well, look, I'm from Toronto. I play hockey. I grew up with hockey. It's in our blood. I actually have a hockey stick sitting permanently in my Acura. Did you like that? I pushed Acura for you. I don't know what make my Acura is. I think it's an Acura 428 convertible.
Ooh.
Wait, that might be a BMW.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not even in the right. You're not even there. Thanks. I just lost a sponsor. I appreciate that.
No, but the only reason I bought a BMW was that the Acura dealership was sold out.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's how popular their car is, brother.
Yeah, listen, I know we love our friends at Miami Acura here for sure. And let me ask you this, though, Prez, when talking about the NHL, early season observations from you, is there something that stands out to you that you go, wow, I didn't see this happening this early?
You know, Joe, I mean, look, it's more about, you know, which teams are surprising us. And we're so early in the season that ultimately it doesn't matter. But when you look at teams like Montreal at 8-5 on the year, or the New York Islanders at 8-5, I find it shocking. I mean, I honestly feel like Montreal might be in the bottom 3 teams in all of hockey. They've just got no offense, 1 defenseman. They're a completely mismanaged team. You know, and even Carey Price isn't what he used to be. This team has let in 51 goals in 8 games, which is crazy, and they keep winning. So if you're looking to start betting and you're looking at sort of the surprises, you know, sports betting is exactly the same as the market. You sell high, you buy low. It's time to sell on Montreal. It's time to sell on the New York Islanders. You know, maybe even sell on Buffalo. And it's time to buy on teams like the Los Angeles Kings, which is a huge surprise, especially with Korolev as their pickup, sitting at 5-9 with, you know, the worst record in hockey. So look at betting in a similar environment as the stock market, and these teams that we expected to do well, start riding them if they haven't come out hot, and the teams that we expect to suck, start betting against them if they have come out hot. So right now, the bet against teams to me are Montreal and the Islanders, and the bet on teams are the Kings and maybe the Knights.
The Knights as well. Have you ever seen, I mean, you mentioned the Kings, and here we are, November 9th, and we've already got 2 coaching changes. The Kings got rid of Stevens. Now the Blackhawks got rid of Coach Q,
Yep.
and he'll be unemployed all of 3 minutes here. But this early on to lose, I mean, is it a power struggle with these organizations? Is it that they just can't get along with the front office? It might be that way in Chicago, but the Kings are hot garbage.
Yeah, look, you know, I can't speak to the Kings because they play too late at night. But in regards to Chicago, look, Coach Q, I mean, this guy's going to be one of the most sought-after coaches since Babcock left Detroit. I honestly feel like it's a Mike McCarthy syndrome for the Green Bay Packers where it's just time. You know, at some point, you just get sick of listening to the same voice over and over again, playing the same system year in and year out, and it's just time for a change. And I don't think it's anything more than that, to be honest with you. I mean, this guy is an incredible hockey coach, so I wouldn't read too deep into that stuff, and I like the moves early in the season because none of these teams are out of it. I mean, it's an 83-game season. Chicago still has Tays. They still have Kane. They've got Seabrook and Keith. This is a good hockey team that could easily still make the playoffs. And they're sitting at 6-7, so they're not out of it by any stretch. I think it's a great move for both parties. I think Quenneville needs something new as well.
Lawrence Prezman joining us, WagerTalk.com. Make sure you guys know the drill. Head over to WagerTalk.com. Make sure you check him out. Go to his page. All sorts of great information and great opportunities for you to take advantage of the unbelievable hot streak that this man is on. Talk to us, Lawrence, about the amount of offense that we're seeing in the NHL this year. I know there were a couple of rule changes, but did you think we'd be seeing what we're seeing right now in terms of offense?
No. And you know what, Joe? It's going to adjust back down to a defensive game because these coaches are so good. And we've seen this before with rule changes where they come out guns blazing and then the coaches figure out a new trap program and it slows down. And we have already started to see a slowdown. But it is shocking. I mean, to go on and look at, you know, taking over and unders, which I really love betting, to see 6.5 on the board so often is unbelievable. And there's almost no 5s. And if you go back over the last 5 years of hockey betting, 5 has been a very crucial number. You know, that's around the average goals per game across the board. And the lowest totals you're seeing now are 5.5. So the line makers have adjusted to this high scoring, and I think as a result, if you're looking to bet hockey, for the next few weeks, I think the play is actually on under the total because the line makers will be behind the coaches. The coaches will make their adjustments first.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I've had this conversation with a few people regarding the different leagues. I mean, listen, in Major League Baseball, the managers are order takers. They simply just put out the lineup that the general managers and the analytics people up there send down. The NBA, coaches don't matter. It's a stars league. The NFL, it's all about coaching. Would you say that it's all about coaching in the NHL, or is it just all you have enough stars you're going to win?
Well, if you go look, one thing's for sure: the NHL is not a stars league in the sense that, Sidney Crosby has won 3 Stanley Cups. What happened all the other years? Ovechkin's only won 1. Connor McDavid's been in the league for 3 years and only made the playoffs once. So we know that in the NHL, you need a full team to play. These guys are going out there for 45-second shifts, and they're rolling through 4 lines at a time. These stars are only on the ice 1/3 of the game. I think the NHL is, without question, a goaltenders league. If you don't have a world-class goalie, you're going nowhere. But it is a combination between a coach's league and a player's league. It sits somewhere between, I guess, the NFL and the NBA. I mean, the strategy from an NFL perspective, coach-wise, is probably the tops in all of sport. But the coaches still are. What the coaches can do in the NHL is affect the defensive style of the game. The offense is really dictated by the players.
It's interesting. Who would you say in the NHL right now, what are some of the names and teams for these top coaches, for these teams that you should probably, certainly when you're looking at handicapping these teams, and coaching is a big part of it, then give us some of the names and the teams of these teams that are just their heads and tails above some of the others.
Well, I mean, listen, Cooper at Tampa Bay is ridiculous. Babcock in Toronto is as good as it gets. I think those you're looking at, those are Trotz. Those are the elite coaches in the league. But I don't think you should be looking at coaches when handicapping hockey. I think ultimately one thing very interesting about hockey that is similar to the NBA is that it's a leg sport. It's a sport that requires just an unbelievable amount of lower body strength. And as a result, there are teams that play 4 games in 6 nights in the NBA. Bet that 4th game. Bet against that team because their legs are just tired. And it's the same in hockey. 4 games in 1 week, Joe. I play hockey every Tuesday night. And I'm telling you, your legs get tired. And I think when you're looking at trying to figure out who to bet in hockey, take the very good teams, play against them when they're tired. Because, the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to lose to Buffalo. The Tampa Bay Lightning are going to lose to Arizona. And when they do lose those games, it's usually because the players' legs just can't keep going anymore.
Lawrence Prezman joining us, WagerTalk.com via the Miami Acura hotline. Make sure you guys head over to WagerTalk.com. We're talking NHL and some of the strategies when it comes to sports books and how to look at this, because it's one of the fastest growing markets in the sports book, that being the NHL. We know it's not the NFL, it's not the NBA, but it is certainly rising. And one of the questions we get a lot, Lawrence, is how do you decide? I mean, if you're just starting out, do you look at money lines? Do you look at the over-unders? Is there a process that people should look at?
Yeah, so firstly, sorry about the coughing.
Not a problem.
The weather has changed. The weather has changed in Toronto, and I am sick. There's 3 types of there's there's 4 types of bets in hockey. There's the totals, over and under 5.5 goals. There's the puck line, which is -1.5, very similar to the run line in baseball. But as opposed to baseball, where the home team doesn't bat if they're up in the 9th inning, what makes the puck line so interesting in hockey is you have 2 minutes of an empty net chance. So the puck line in hockey actually is a much better bet than the run line in baseball. You also have the regular line, as in this team will win the game -128. And then you have the 3-way line, which means the team has to win in regulation. What I suggest to most people betting hockey is to really focus on the over and unders, how many goals are scored in a game, and also focus on the straight money line bets. A team is going to win regardless of overtime. Try to stay away from the puck line bets, because if you look, a lot of these games are 1-goal games, and try to stay away from the 3-way bet. If you are, however, going to do parlays, which I know a lot of your listeners want to do because it creates more money, $10 pays 60, that's when I think you should start looking at the puck line. Because a team that's -128 to win the game, that very same team to win the game by 2 goals is probably +200, and you do have 2 minutes at an empty net. So if you're going to make straight bets, focus on the money line and the totals, and if you're going to make parlays, you might as well go for broke and take the puck line and take the 2-to-1 odds.
How about as far as the books? Because the markets are a little softer in the NHL compared to the NBA and the NFL and Major League Baseball.
Right.
So are there certain books that are much better equipped to be able to handle the lines than others?
No. Most of the books follow each other, Joe. You are going to get a small difference. One book might have, the Leafs at -128. Another book might have the Leafs at -132. But it's not enough of a difference to worry about the books. But I think the most interesting point you make, Joe, is that the hockey lines are soft. And why are they soft? There has to be some logic to why the hockey lines are soft. And I'll tell you why, Joe. Hockey accounts for about 0.25% of a book's handle. So when we're sitting in November and they're taking NFL bets, college football bets, NBA bets, and now college basketball bets, when you add it all up, if the books lose every single hockey game, it makes no difference to them. It's such a small volume that is played on hockey that the books don't spend as much time tweaking and trying to get the lines right as they would an NFL Sunday, where they literally can't afford to screw up. So that's actually what makes hockey so interesting.
And that's and listen, this is all great information, and Lawrence Prezman joining us, WagerTalk.com. This is the kind of information that even if you are starting out and you are looking to bet and hockey intrigues you, this is the kind of information that you guys need. It's also very valuable to head over to WagerTalk.com and to make sure that you hit the Prez's page there at WagerTalk.com, because in addition to information like this on the website, you've also got some deals going on right now as well, don't you?
We do. And Joe, listen, we do all the work for everybody. I mean, your listeners do not need to worry about who is going to win, a game tonight. We do that all for you. I mean, last year I hit 60% in the NFL, and my customers' bankrolls were 40% return on their money, which is, Warren Buffett would bow to me, my brother. So, we do all the work for everybody. And I do have a promo for your listeners. the promo, if you go over to WagerTalk.com and you use the promo code PREZ, P-R-E-Z, or as human beings would call it, Z, P-R-E-Z, all, A-L-L, and then 25, that's Prez all 25. Your listeners will get the next 3 days of my entire betting card for $25. And Joe,
wow.
I'm 11 and 8 in hockey this season, but I am over 60% in the last 2 years. I am 10-2 to start the NBA season, which is ridiculous.
Wow.
And my NFL, Joe, after calling the over in the Pittsburgh game last night, is 23-12 on the year.
Damn.
I'm slightly up in college football, but it's not my best sport. And last year I was 61% in college hoops. So, just go over to WagerTalk.com, use the promo code PREZALL25, try me out for the next 3 days, and let us do the work for your listeners. Let them just enjoy the games. It takes hours and hours to figure out who's going to win a game. You can't. This is not about guessing. Why? Who guesses with their hard-earned money?
And one of the things that I love about Ralph Michales and you and the other guys that are on the site, Marco, is that when you do invest, and it is an investment, make sure you guys understand that it's an investment in these guys for them doing all the legwork. But it's not like they're just throwing picks at you. There's actually an understanding and a reasoning behind those picks. It's not where you're just you're not throwing shit against the wall and hoping it sticks. And you've got to also understand where they're coming from, why they're making these picks. That's half the battle in order to be a competent professional sports bettor at some point down the road.
Well, when you buy our information, you're not just getting Atlanta Falcons. You're getting 3 paragraphs of why. But I'm glad you mentioned Ralph Michales, because I don't think there's anybody in the industry that has more knowledge of systems and trends dating back the last 50 years than Ralph. I mean, he's a walking encyclopedia and just such an interesting man to listen to. You couldn't have picked a better person.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And Joe, one thing I would suggest is, me and you should, if you would have me again, and I will be more animated next time. I'm just trying not to sneeze. But we should do an actual show on how to bet.
Yes.
Because that is the most important thing, period. And that's really the disconnect between the amateurs and the professional bettors. The professional bettors are out there and they're ecstatic to hit 55, 56% on a year. An amateur bettor can still hit 52, 53%. So we're only talking about a very small percentage difference between an amateur and a pro. What the real difference is in how to manage your money. And that, I think, is the most important thing in all of sports betting.
Love that you said that, and we will absolutely do that, because one of our mottos here on the show, Prez, is that knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have, the more competent you can be, the more responsible you can be when it comes to sports betting. And unfortunately, in this space, there is an awful lot of crap. Everybody's a professional, handicapper. Everyone's got 90% winners. Well, you won't find those people. You won't find those people on this show. The only people you're going to find here are the ones who are tried, they're professionals, they're proven, and they'll never steer you wrong, because it is a business at the end of the day. You make money, they make money, everybody wins, and that's a great idea. We'll do that, but let's talk about some of there's a game tonight, in fact, because I know you are a Toronto fan, to say the least. The Maple Leafs taking on the New Jersey Devils, I believe, at home there for you. Is it Scotiabank Arena? Am I correct on that?
Yeah, they actually just changed the name from the Air Canada Centre to the Scotiabank Arena, and it pisses me off. I mean, you get in did they change? Is it still called the Joe Robbie? I don't even know, but it's like they should not be allowed to change names of arenas. These things get into the psyche, the culture of our cities, and now they're called something different.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100% there. But before we get into the game, I want to ask you, I know Monday they are introducing, I believe they're inducting the Hall of Fame class. They're doing that on Monday, and one of the inductees is Marty Brodeur, the longtime New Jersey Devils goalie. And for some reason, we continue to get this argument, Prez, that Brodeur was overrated in his career. So I just want to ask you, Marty Brodeur.
Is that a joke? Who makes that argument?
It's all over the place. You look at it. People don't put him in the Dominik Hasek or the Patrick Roy categories. They don't feel he's anywhere.
Oh, that is just funny.
Yeah, so I want to hear from you, though. Where is Marty Brodeur? Your top 3 or 5 goalies of all time here, or even over the last 30 years.
Well, I'll make this really easy for you, Joe. Marty Brodeur is not in the top 3 or 5 goalies of all time. Marty Brodeur is in the top 3 or 5 hockey players of all time. For any of these people to claim that Marty Brodeur is not the very best goaltender to ever live is utterly ridiculous. If you go back and you look at Patrick Roy and the Montreal Canadiens hockey team, you're going to find superstars on that team. Dominik Hasek did nothing in his career other than flop around the net and hope the puck hit him in the stomach. Marty Brodeur played on a team where Scott Gomez was their leading scorer. I mean, come on. The New Jersey Devils with Marty Brodeur in net had a very bad hockey team other than Niedermeyer and Stevens.
And Stevens, yeah.
And this guy single-handedly won them cup after cup after cup. So I am not buying. I would be blown away if people in Toronto were making that argument. In other words, people who actually know hockey. Perhaps Barry Melrose on ESPN is making that argument, but I would be amazed if Ron McLean or Don Cherry or Elliot Friedman or any of the talking heads in a country that knows hockey would claim anything other than Brodeur was the greatest goaltender of all time.
So glad you said that, because I've seen it in a number of different places online, people having this argument. It's these Patrick Roy and Dominik Hasek lovers. They don't think anybody else could ever play goal besides those two guys, but your point is exactly correct. Patrick Roy played with even on the Colorado teams. He was playing with Sakic. He was playing with megastars. Who in the hell did Marty Brodeur play with? Come on, it's not even close. I'm so glad you brought that up. But speaking of goalies, you got actually a pretty good one in net here, who saved your ass earlier this week against the Vegas Knight. Lawrence Prezman joining us, WagerTalk.com, talking a little NHL here. Frederik Andersen, man, what he stopped? I mean, there must have been 80 or 90 shots on goal against the Vegas Knights a couple of nights ago, but he did a pretty damn good job. You beat them, and tonight you're at home taking on the Devils. Talk to us about this kid in net.
Well, and it goes back to what we were saying earlier in the show, that this is a goaltender's league. I think the shots were something like 45 for the Knights and 20 for the Leafs, and yet the Leafs pulled out a victory. Do I think Frederik Andersen is a top 5 goalie in hockey? Not right now. But I think he's in the top tier in the league. And I'm happy with him as our goaltender. If you go and you look at the best goalies in the league, Carey Price, for instance, Jonathan Quick, what you're finding in front of them are bad hockey teams. You cannot have. It's actually, it's interestingly enough, it's similar to the NFL. If you look at Aaron Rodgers, you see a bad team around him. If you look at Tom Brady, you don't see a bad team because they have Gronk, but you don't exactly see superstar running backs or wide receivers. The bottom line is, in this day and age where you actually have to pay people to play, you can't have everything. And the Leafs have Austin Matthews, John Tavares, Patrick Marleau, Mitch Marner, you know, a ridiculous team in front of a top tier, but at the bottom, goaltender. I would rather take that than have Carey Price and a bunch of scrubs in front of him.
Amen to that. And you've got an interesting matchup tonight with the Devils, who won their first 3 games. They've lost 6 out of their last 7. But I think even you would, be rooting for former Leaf Brian Boyle there, who was diagnosed with some sort of crazy cancer. But he ended up scoring, I think, or even a hat trick earlier this week. And I know the Leafs got to be pulling for him certainly tonight.
Well, look, you know, I mean, Brian Boyle, it's not even about the cancer, Joe. I mean, this guy is just a really good human being. And he was a hell of a team leader when he did play for the Leafs for all of about 25 games. And I'll never forget that backhanded pass behind the net to set up a goal. One of the finest no-look passes I've ever seen. But as far as the Leafs pulling for Brian Boyle tonight, hell no. We're not pulling for anybody on that team.
I was waiting for it. Well, do you have...
They're going to... Nazem Kadri is going to hack him, stick him, hit him. Oh, please. All we want to do, all Toronto wants to do is win. This is a team that's plus 700 to win the Stanley Cup this year. Plus 700 with Tampa Bay and Nashville. They are favored to go to the Cup and win it. And I don't think they give a rat about anybody on any other team.
How about the health of the team right now? We know the kid is down for a little while there. Are we getting healthier and with the Maple Leafs?
Well, Matthews is out for probably another 3 weeks, but you know, the team has won their last 2 games. They've won 4 of their last 6 without him, including just 2 spectacular wins against Winnipeg. They finally have started to score a little, 5-0 in Pittsburgh without Matthews. You know, I think, you know, they've got the best coach in hockey. John Tavares is a stud. I think this team can go places without Austin, but we need him for the playoffs. I mean, I think Austin's a stud. And actually, he asked my friend's daughter out on a date.
Really?
And she said no.
What?
What the hell?
Come on. What's up with that?
Dude, if he asked my daughter out on a date, I would be like, Maddie, say yes and give it up to him that night.
Yeah, you listen, honey, sweetheart, I love you, but you gotta go.
I would be like, my darling daughter, tell him you're on the pill and lie.
Exactly. Thank you very much for this. See, that's what we're talking about. Joining us via the Miami Acura hotline is Father of the Year, Lawrence Prezman, WagerTalk.com. Let me ask you this, Lawrence. Do you have a feel one way or the other taking the homerism out of this year? I know you're a Leafs fan, but when you look at the numbers tonight, do you have a play on this game?
I actually do, Joe, and I'm actually betting this hockey game.
Wow!
So anybody who uses the access code PREZOL25 and get my next 3 days of plays for $25, they will see that I am releasing this play to my customers. Joe, I'm going to be playing on under the total in this hockey game.
Oh!
They expect 6 goals tonight. And I'm just not buying it. If you go back and you look at the Leafs without Austin Matthews, they have not gotten over 6 goals since Austin went out. And even if you look at the Leafs with Austin Matthews, their last 10 games, dating back to when they were in Washington, none of them have been over the total of 6 goals. So I'm a little amazed at why it is 6 goals, it might be because New Jersey lost 3-7 against Ottawa a few days ago. But even New Jersey's not some scoring juggernaut. I think this game has got 2-0 written all over it. I'm actually going to play under the total of 6 goals in this hockey game.
Oh, see, there you go. I love it, Lawrence Prezman. By the way, a side note, I believe 13 out of the last 16 with these two teams have gone to the home team. So Toronto is certainly home tonight. They'll be taking the ice, taking on the Devils. Under 6 is what the Prez likes. Give us a future, Prez. I mean, we're always looking for value here. You mentioned, of course, 7-1. You said Tampa and early season favorites with Toronto. Is there maybe somebody in that 40, 50-1 range that you say keep an eye out?
Well, look, I mean, if you want to go as far as the 40 to 50 zone, my money would go on the Kings at plus 5,000, and the reason is straightforward. Jonathan Quick. I mean, you have a ridiculous goalie in net, and he gets hot at the right time, and you just can't put pucks behind him. If you want to look at a closer range, like maybe a plus 2,500. I think you would be looking at the Avalanche or the Calgary Flames. Don't sleep on the Calgary Flames. This team is rock solid up front, and they have a solid defensive core. So from a long shot perspective, I'm liking Calgary and Colorado. From an extreme long shot perspective, I like the Los Angeles Kings. With all that said, if I had to put my money on any team to win the Stanley Cup, I would take the Tampa Bay Lightning at plus 700.
See, this is the kind of knowledge and information you get by hanging out with us here on the show, and you'll get even more of it by heading over to WagerTalk.com. Take advantage of the special 3 days, all access to the Prez's picks across all of the sports. Very simply, use the access code. Give it to us one more time, Prez.
The access code is PrezAll25. You get the next 3 days of action, and it's going to be a ton of plays. I mean, I have an NBA game up tonight. I have 3 hockey games up tonight. I have a 3-pack of college football tomorrow. I got a 3-pack of NFL on Sunday, and I hope I do your listeners proud. I'd love to see that coupon being used. And I really appreciate you having me on the show. Next time I come on, I will not be as sick and probably a little bit funnier and more animated.
Listen, it's my pleasure. It's always great to be able to talk hockey with a hockey guy, somebody that loves it. We got to do this more. I mean, we've got an 80-year-old Roberto Luongo down here that's winning hockey games still in net for us. So this town has certainly come around in Miami with its hockey. We do love. We love our team. We love the Cats down here. They got a long way to go, but it's always a pleasure when I get to talk hockey with somebody, Lawrence. Looking forward to doing this again. And you're right. We got to put a show together teaching people how to be smart when they bet.
Thanks, Joe. It's a real pleasure. And, I'm a Florida Panthers fan. I'm friendly with Peter Luco and some of the guys that have started and run this team for many years. I don't think they're going anywhere, but I do cheer for the Panthers, and I love the red that they chose. Just that Ferrari red is magnificent.
Amen. Fits it well down here. He is Lawrence Prezman. Make sure you check it out, WagerTalk.com. Go take advantage of his pick. Lawrence, I appreciate you fighting through the cold and coming on and talking some hockey with us, my friend. Looking forward to doing it again.
Thanks, buddy. Anytime.
You got it, Lawrence Prezman at Prez Wager Talk. You got to go check him out and take advantage of the fact that you can get 3 days of access for just $25. You guys got the code. Go to WagerTalk.com. Drop it in there. PrezAll25. Take advantage of it. He has been on fire, people, when I tell you on fire. And welcome in. If you guys are just joining us, you just came across the news feed there and was like, oh, my God. These guys are on. Welcome in. Happy Friday to you. We do have a bit of breaking news in the NFL that we will share with you here, and it's kind of unfortunate. It's kind of sad, but it looks like Dez Bryant, who just signed with the Saints this week after spending the first 10 weeks of the season waiting for the perfect fit, waiting for the perfect team to come along. And that team did come along in the Saints, and it looks like he has blown out his Achilles. And to make matters even worse, it's being reported that it happened on the last play of practice today, if you can believe that. And apparently he was looking really, really good at practices all week. And the final play of practice today, I guess he went to make a cut, and they're saying that is where he went down. MRI, they haven't confirmed it yet, but that's the fear. And it does look like the Saints are going to go ahead and sign Brandon Marshall, who I thought he retired, but apparently he didn't. Brandon Marshall, who I think was with the Seahawks, was it? Either way, it looks like he's the one that they're going to side. The Saints needed some help. Cameron Meredith is on the IR, so they knew that they were going to need some wide receiver help, which is why they went out and got Dez. They lost Ted Ginn a little bit earlier this year, so they need some wide receiver help to go with Traquan Smith, the rookie, and of course Michael Thomas. And Dez would have been the perfect complement, the perfect situation here, but unfortunately it looks like it's not going to happen. Dez Bryant, torn Achilles in all likelihood, finished this year. Who the hell knows what's going to happen next year now, but unfortunate situation all the way around. Want to say hello to Glenn, Villaman, Joey, Matt, Johnny, Jordy, all you guys joining us via the chat rooms. Thank you very much. We're broadcasting to you live, of course, on Twitch, on Facebook, on Periscope, on YouTube. We are across all of the streaming platforms, and we thank you guys for hanging out with us as usual. We're excited. We're just getting started here. You heard the Prez. If you missed that, don't worry about it. You'll have a opportunity to get that interview reloaded. Some great hockey knowledge there, some great information on how to bet hockey. He provided it. Make sure that you guys check that interview out. It was awesome. Also, he told us tonight in the Maple Leafs and the Devils game, he's looking at the under 6 goals there. So he's looking at under. That seems to be a solid play. And coming up, we will hear from Ralph Michales, our other fantastic friend, handicapper, professional from WagerTalk.com. He's got some thoughts on tonight's Fresno State game and the Syracuse game, as well as some interesting statistics and trends surrounding Alabama's game against Mississippi State and regarding Boston College and Clemson. You're not going to want to miss that. But coming up, we are going to introduce you to the newest, the greatest new daily fantasy app that there is that allows you to forget about FanDuel and DraftKings. I'm telling you, when you meet our next guest and you hear what he is offering, you will never play FanDuel and DraftKings again. You will never lose your ass playing FanDuel and DraftKings again. You will now say hello to Thrive Fantasy, also one of the new sponsors here on the show. So we want to thank them for coming aboard. We're excited because wait until you check this out. It is so cool. We're going to talk to Adam, the CEO of that, coming up here in just a minute. But once again, we do want to say thank you to our sponsors, including Miami Acura, who want you to take a test drive for the all-new 2019 RDX. If you haven't done so, head over to MiamiAcura.com. Check out the deals that they've got going on, not to mention the certified pre-owned cars that they have on the lot. Deals like we've never seen. What you've got to do is you've got to get over to MiamiAcura.com or South Dixie Highway for those of you in the 305 and the 954. Simply call them, too, if you're outside of that, 855-564-4669. Give them a call, set up an appointment, take it for a test drive. That's the all-new 2019 RDX, completely redesigned. Or check out any one of the many certified pre-owned cars they have at deals you've never seen possible. So this holiday season, if it's a new car or a certified pre-owned car that you are looking for, make it Miami Acura. Head over to MiamiAcura.com. All right, we're going to introduce you to the newest, the greatest, the latest daily fantasy app that you have not heard of, but you are going to love me for this because it's going to change the way you play daily Fantasy. We're going to introduce you to the man responsible for it. He is the CEO of Thrive Fantasy. We're going to hook you up here. We're going to show you how to get involved, how to get some money, all of that good stuff, and we'll do that in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We just got to say thank you to a few more of our sponsors here, including Low Cost Airlines and Superior Cruise and Travel.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Why? Because you can save 45% on packages compared to your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? I don't think so. Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-293-0328. 800-293-0328. 800-293-0328. That's 800-293-0328.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-764-9168. 800-764-9168. 800-764-9168. That's 800-764-9168.
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-761-1427. 800-761-1427. 800-761-1427. That's 800-761-1427.
Get ready to talk sports. It's the Say It With Me podcast. Now here's your host, Joe Raineri.
Well, guys, happy Friday to you. Welcome in. We got a really special guest here because anytime we're all a bunch of degenerate gamblers on some level. That's why you guys watch this show, and that's why I love you. And there is an opportunity for you to get involved in one of the coolest daily fantasy apps that I have seen. It is brand new. You probably don't know about it, but I bet you guys are sick and tired of losing your ass when it comes to FanDuel and DraftKings and never cashing out. Well, this app gives you probably the best chance playing daily fantasy, playing prop bets, and actually cashing out. So we went to the very top. There is nobody else at this place that we can talk to that can better help you understand what it is than the man behind the man behind the man. CEO, president, founder. The guy is, he's the cook. He's the bottle. He's everything. He is Adam Weinstein, CEO of Thrive Fantasy. He joins us via the Miami Acura hotline. And Adam, first of all, good morning to you. Thank you so very much for coming on. And talk to us a little bit about Thrive. I mean, if somebody doesn't know what it is, what the hell is Thrive Fantasy?
Sure. Well, what an intro. I appreciate
that. Was impressive, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was impressive. Yes.
I might need you to go on all these calls with me moving forward. But
talk to us. Tell us what Thrive is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So as you mentioned, we're a new DFS platform for prop bets. So the biggest pain point, as you mentioned, was on FanDuel and DraftKings, such a small percentage of users win all the money. So we wanted to completely change that concept. So instead of drafting a lineup with in NFL like one quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, all that good stuff, we give you a list of 20 prop bets. So Tom Brady over under 300 passing yards, or Zeke over under 85.5 rushing yards. We give you a list of 20 of these props. You pick 10 out of the 20. The less probable a prop is to occur, the more points you get, wherein lies the game theory. So really fun, very straightforward. It's a more pick-up-and-play type of mentality. You don't need to research every player on every team to be successful on our app. And it's really fun. People seem to really enjoy it.
Well, listen, one of the big problems when it comes to FanDuel and DraftKings is, A, the amount of people that participate in these tournaments. B, it's very hard to compete with guys that are spending thousands upon thousands, have 400 entries in these tournaments. It's kind of hard to compete against them. This sounds like, when I looked at it and when I was playing around with it, you don't have the, at most I think I saw a couple of tournaments where there were 55 entries at tops, and then once it's filled, it's filled. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so a couple of things on what you mentioned. So the guys who are putting out 150, 175 lineups on the big sites, they have the resources, not only about the financial backing to put up all that money, but they also have these algorithms that are just spitting out these optimal lineups. And for instance, they'll have the wide receiver 4 of the Vikings in a couple of those lineups, and people such as myself will never even consider putting them in one or two of our lineups, right? So if they go off for 150 and 2 touchdowns, you're pretty much screwed if you don't have that guy. So what's nice on our app is you'll never see the backup catcher for the Mets or the wide receiver 3 of the patch. You'll see the top-tier athletes, the guys you want to engage with, the guys you know very well. And, the max that we are seeing right now in terms of entries that we allow is normally 10 to 12 in our bigger contests,
which is also amazing. And he is Adam Weinstein. He is the CEO of Thrive Fantasy, joining us via the Miami Acura hotline. It is the coolest. Anybody that, if you have a FanDuel account and you have a DraftKings account, then what you need to do as soon as we're done here is pick up your damn phone, go to the App Store, and download Thrive Fantasy so you guys can see this for yourself. If you enjoy never winning on FanDuel and you enjoy never winning on DraftKings, but you know what? You love playing daily fantasy, this is definitely an app for you. And one of the other cool features, Adam, that I witnessed and that I saw was you have these kind of like, it's kind of like 3 people. I mean, talk to us about that. You got 3 people you're going up against. As long as you don't finish third, you're going to cash out.
That's right. Yeah. So it's a new type of concept. It's a 3-man contest where, let's just say it's 3 people who put in $50. Top user gets 85, second place gets their money back, and then obviously third gets nothing. So if you're in the top 67%, you're at least minimally getting your money back. So people were like, holy shit, this is a cool concept in the sense that you don't have to crush everybody in order to get paid.
How did this all start, Adam? I mean, take us back to the beginning here, man. What will you do? Were you just sick and tired of losing your ass going, this is ridiculous, the whole game is rigged? Like, what did you do that you said, I got to create something here?
Yeah, pretty much. So I've been in, I was playing poker at 15, 16 years old online on my older brother's account, winning a good amount of money. So I've been in this space for quite some time, but I'm an avid sports fan. I know pretty much every player on every team. So when FanDuel and DraftKings came about 5, 6 years ago, I was like, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to make a good amount of money on the side as a nice revenue stream, crushing people on these sites. Deposited a couple $1,000. Never came close to sniffing a prize pool. So I was like, this kind of sucks. So really wanted to create something more for the everyday fan and not someone who was getting crushed every day. So also with that sense, I love prop bets. I think that's the new wave. That experience, winning a prop bet, is so much more fun than just picking your lineup out of 35 quarterbacks or what have you. So really wanted to do DFS and prop bets and have a baby with it. And I think it has a lot of legs to stand on. Anybody who's downloaded the app is like, this thing is really innovative, really fun, really, really cool. So that's really how it came game to be.
Now, for those of you that are just joining us, and if you're at work stealing corporate time, we love you, then this is even better. You're going to love this app, Thrive Fantasy. Make sure you download it and steal more corporate time. But Adam Weinstein's the CEO. He created this as an alternative to daily fantasy, and there's really two players in the game when you're looking at FanDuel and DraftKings, and this is a great alternative because you don't have to search all 32 damn teams, let's say, in the NFL. You don't have to know every single person looking for that one sleeper that's going to put you over the top. You basically join these, and you've got 10 or 15 guys, Adam, that you're going to choose from. And maybe here's the best part about this, which I thought was really cool. We wake up on Sunday morning, right? We download our money, right? We get it in there, we make our lineup, and then all of a sudden at 12:55, some guy breaks his ass, and now he's not in the lineup, and you're all screwed, and the $100 you just bet is out because your wide receiver, quarterback, or whoever running back is not playing that day. You have an alternative to that, Adam. Explain this to us.
Sure. So another huge pain point for the casual fan is if that, let's just say for NBA, it's 7 o'clock is lock, and at 6:58 you go out to dinner with your girl or what have you. You have plans. You don't see that one of your big players is a last-second scratch, and then for all intents and purposes, your lineup's screwed. So what we created was it's called 2 in case of emergency picks. So you have your primary lineup. As I mentioned, you pick 10 out of 20 of these props for your primary lineup. If any of your players in your primary lineup don't play for an unforeseen circumstance, whether it's weather or whether it's like for baseball, if it was rained out or it's a last-second scratch, we actually implement your in case of emergency picks into your primary lineup. So it's a nice safety net. You don't have to be in front of your computer at 7 o'clock or at 7:30, at 8 o'clock or at 12:59, as you mentioned, for NFL. And we really took all the problems that the prior DFS community had, and we wanted to make it an opportunity. So really intriguing in that aspect as well.
What's the feedback you've been getting from people who have downloaded this app and have deposited money? What is the feedback you've been getting so far, Adam?
Sure. So to be candid, I was hoping a lot of people would tell us a lot of things that they wanted us to iterate on or innovate on, but most people are like, this thing is absolutely amazing. It's really something, it's a breath of fresh air, right? I like to consider FanDuel and DraftKings fantasy fatigue. 3-4 years ago, it was a ton of fun creating a lineup, taking like an hour or an hour and a half and doing that research. But now it's the same freaking thing every day. Here, I need to look at all these matchups and the value of the salary cap and cross-reference with this guy and that guy. And it's the same thing. For us, you'll never see the same contest twice. Tonight, we might ask you about LeBron James' total 25.5 total points. Tomorrow we might ask you about his rebounds. The next day maybe his blocks plus steals. So you'll never see the contest lobby. It changes every day, which is really fun, and it's not something that the DFS community has seen.
Let me ask you this, because I have an idea, and I didn't see this, but I'm thinking it, and if it turns out to make $1 million, I'm in for 30%. But is there a possibility to have a lineup that consists of the NBA guys, the NFL guys, the NHL guys, on any given night where your lineup could be 10 guys, 3 of them in the NBA, 2 of them in the NFL, 3 of them in the NHL, anything along those lines available yet?
Yeah, so a couple of people have asked us about that. We do have that ability. The only thing that I'm a little hesitant on is if you're an NBA guy, right, you know your NBA stuff, you might not feel as comfortable if I'm asking you about cross sports. So theoretically, we do have that ability, and if a ton of people say, hey, we would love for that to be something that you put out there, I'm open to it. I just don't want to make people unsure of when so for instance, I'm an NFL and NBA and MLB guy, but I know nothing about the NHL. I never grew up on it. I don't really have any engagement with it. So if there was a contest where they're asking me about Evgeny Malkin or Sidney Crosby total over under half a goal, I wouldn't feel as confident putting that lineup out. But listen, guys, like the last thing I am is stubborn. If we hear that feedback, if a lot of people are coming saying we would at least have that as a thought process, I'm open to it. Hit us up on Twitter. We're mostly engaged there on social at Thrive Fantasy, one word. DM us, tell us what you like, what you don't like. and we're happy to take that feedback and take it into consideration.
Wait a minute, dude. You're a CEO that gives a shit what the actual consumer thinks. What's wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you? It's all about what the investors want.
I promise you. I promise you won't get a generic email saying we've taken this into consideration. You never hear from us again.
Yeah.
We're highly engaged, highly motivated. We understand that the big guys, they don't really give a crap, to be honest. So we want to make sure that your voice is being heard.
I love this. Adam Weinstein, he is CEO of Thrive Fantasy. And again, if you guys are just joining us, make sure as soon as you get a chance, go to the App Store, Thrive Fantasy. Now, this is another question I have, Adam, because when I went there were two options for Thrive Fantasy. I think one of them was Draft and another one was just Thrive. So is there a difference? Do people download them both? Explain to us what that is.
So interesting. So for Draft, they might have actually just bought an ad to go on top of us if you search us. So that's probably what it was. But it's just Thrive Fantasy, one word, and we'll pop up in your App Store and your Play Store, www.thrivefantasy.com. What's nice is we'll actually instantly match your first deposit up to $10. And tell us that you came from the show, and we'll definitely hook you up as well.
All right, so you go there, you download the app, you install, and you get it installed, then you go ahead, drop in some money, you can get there, and it doesn't have to be a boatload of money either, Adam, right? You can stick your toe in and dabble in and see what's going on.
100%. I mean, if everybody wants to put in $5K, I'm not going to say no to it, but yeah, of course, you could do couple bucks, $5, $10, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Do we have the ability for the in-game wagering yet, Adam?
We don't. We could theoretically moving forward. I do want to see how Thrive does with the pregame and lock, but yeah, that is definitely something down the docket. What's nice is like if at halftime we can have new props for second half. LeBron James over 10.5 points as opposed to 25.5 prior to the game. So. Yeah, what's really nice about prop bets is that it's limitless and the opportunities are endless. So with, like, let's just say the Super Bowl, right? On FanDuel and DraftKings, having one lineup, like everybody's going to have the same quarterback or two running backs or what have you. So it's not as fun creating it on a one-game slate. On Thrive, with one game, I can have 5,000 props that we ask you about. So definitely a different sweat, different experience during those games.
So the only question that I have for you guys watching is, what the hell are you doing? Have you gone to the App Store yet? Download it, Thrive Fantasy. It is probably the coolest thing that you are going to see in this space in a long time. The hell with DraftKings, the hell with FanDuel. You ain't winning there anyway, and if you are, you're winning $3, and no. Go to Thrive Fantasy, download it right now. Stick your toe in there, dabble a little bit, deposit, and have some fun with it. I mean, it's so much easier not having to worry about knowing every damn dude on every team looking for that one sleeper that might put you over the edge, which some algorithm already pushed out anyway, and you don't have a chance. So this is the way to do it, because they're only going to give you the cream of the crop, guys that you probably already know or already heard of, and then you just got to choose what you think that player is going to do that particular night. You get enough points, you end up winning. Is that about it, Adam? Did I miss anything?
I need to hire you as our marketing rep for sure.
I mean, I don't know what you guys. This is the coolest thing in the world. I mean, especially for you guys that follow us here because you're sports bettors, and you know we bring on only the best of the best when it comes to sports handicappers and the pros. You guys know who we bring on. But if you don't dabble in daily fantasy because you think the odds are stacked against you, because a lot of our guys do here, Adam, they don't dabble in fantasy because they don't like the odds. They don't think that they can get an edge or there's any value in that, especially going up against the big syndicates. But here, there's value. Here there is value, and here is something that it's a daily fantasy for the sports bettor is really how I'm looking at this, because the guys that don't dabble in it should be dabbling in it, right?
And that's exactly right. So, like, when I had traded from FanDuel and DraftKings, it's not like I lost my passion to compete and play fantasy. It's just I lost my passion of always losing. So, this is something that I promise you'll have a much better chance at competing at a consistent level on. It's just the sheer fact that we give you a list of 20 athletes. Cam Newtons, the Joe Mixons, the Antonio Browns of the world. You guys know who these players are. We'll never ask you people that you're not comfortable knowing and researching. So
exactly.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, you don't need to know who gives a shit player that's third string. It doesn't really make a damn bit of difference. It's only the best of the best, and we're all going to have an opinion one way or another if Cam Newton's going to throw over or under 300 yards. So it's very easy to adapt. You don't have to know an awful lot to have a little fun and just make the games that much more interesting. And you can do it by heading over to Thrive Fantasy. Check it out on the App Store. Download it, deposit it, give it a shot. We'll talk again next week. I want to hear what you guys think. And, of course, Adam is available to you guys. You heard him on Twitter, at Thrive Fantasy. Go ahead. If you got any questions, those guys are great. They answer them for you. You got to love customer service, Adam, in this day and age.
Exactly, yeah. And I can't stress it enough. We listen. We take everything into consideration, and we're here for the people. I was one of the players, so I totally understand what we need, what we want moving forward.
There you go. He is Adam Weinstein. He is the CEO, the man behind Thrive Fantasy. Get there today, download it, then hit us up again next week. Tell us what you think. I think it's going to be an awful lot of fun moving forward. It's an alternative to DraftKings and FanDuel, which you don't win anyway. So get involved. Thrive Fantasy. Download it today. Adam, I appreciate you coming on, my friend. You got carte blanche. Come on whenever you want. We'll make fun of all the FanDuel and DraftKings people who lose, and we'll just show how much our players win.
Much appreciated, Joe.
You got it. Adam Weinstein, Thrive Fantasy. Download it today. Yeah, I got mine all set here tonight, guys. Ready to rock and roll. Got a little NBA action, getting ready for the NFL on Sunday. It's one of the coolest apps that you have ever seen, completely changing daily fantasy, and we're going to give you guys a link to be able to download it. They'll go ahead and match your first deposit up to $10, and you don't have to put a lot of money in. You can just check it out, but honestly, if you love prop bets and you're looking to make the games even just that much more interesting, this is definitely going to be the app for you. So we're going to go ahead and post this link for you. Use that link, get in there, become part of the Thrive Fantasy and the Joe Raineri Show team, and we can compete against each other, and we can kick each other's ass and have a good time with it. I do see that our boy, Captain Capping, also heard about the whole Dez Bryant situation, and if you're just joining us, if you haven't heard, it looks like Dez Bryant tore his Achilles heel today. Last play of the practice, no less, so he waited all that time, 10 damn weeks, to be able to hook up with a team in the right spot, a contender, and then he gets out there, and from what we were hearing, he was lighting it up out on the practice field all week. And now, last play of the practice, and voila, blows out his Achilles, and now who the hell knows what's going on. I do think Brandon Marshall is somebody that they are looking for, and that sucks. It really does suck for Dez. He waited all that time to be able to get to that particular point, and that's what happened to him, man. And that sucked on so many different levels. All right, so we got to get to some of the games here tonight because we did have a chance to talk to our boy Ralph Michales yesterday. Some of you might not have had a chance to hear the show. Don't worry about it. We do have his Boise State and Fresno pick here tonight, along with Clemson, Boston College, Alabama, Mississippi State. And if you are just joining us, we do want to thank our good friend there, the Prez. That is right, the Prez, Lawrence Prezman, WagerTalk.com, founder. One half of the founding partnership there that created WagerTalk.com. He joined us. You want to talk about some great NHL betting knowledge, some great stuff he gave there. If you guys aren't sure how to bet the NHL, but you're thinking about betting the NHL, you are definitely going to want to catch this interview, and you guys know how it works. As soon as we're done here, you'll have an opportunity to thumble through this and be able to pull up his interview. Also, throughout the night, we'll go ahead. We'll replay the Lawrence Prezman interview. You guys got to check it out. I mean, anybody that's ever thought about going in and maybe throwing up a parlay, playing what do you play? The over-under? Do you play the money line? Do you play the goal? What do you play in the NHL if you're going to bet them? Amazing information there. Plus, he's got a game tonight that he likes. He's looking at the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on, at home, the New Jersey Devils. the under there. 6 goals. He likes the under. And he's offered you guys a chance. And what a great thing this is. He's got 3 days all access for you guys. 3 days all access, wagertalk.com. Get all of his picks for 3 days. And get it for just $25, okay? I mean, normally I think it's $99, somewhere along those lines. You get it for $25 he's offering you. And his plays, by the way, for basketball, NBA, I think he said he was 11-2 on his picks so far this year. No, he's been killing it across the board. So for 3 days, get all his picks. Get the NHL, you get college basketball, the NBA, you get the NFL. His picks in the NFL have been second to none. Simply head over to wagertalk.com. Use PrezAll25 at checkout. PrezAll25, and you'll get 3 days full access, everything he's got, for just $25. And again, the new app, the DFS prop bet app, that is just blowing people away. Once you play with this, I'm telling you right now, once you get involved in this, you'll never go to FanDuel and DraftKings again. You'll never play it again. So we're going to go ahead as soon as we're done here and give you the link. If you're following us on Twitter and Periscope, we're going to have the link up here as soon as we're done. Make sure that you guys download it from there. As far as Twitch and Facebook and YouTube, you guys over there, we'll go ahead and post the link in the comments section. Click on it, download it. They'll match up to $10 for the first download. Become part of the team here, and we'll compete against each other, and we'll have some fun. There's no more having to know every single player on every team, looking for that one sleeper that, you know, only the guys with the algorithms laying out, 400 lineups in a contest will get. Don't have that. What we've got is you got 10 or 15 of the top guys, and they're all prop bets, and it's so much fun, especially the NBA, which you still have some time here to be able to get in on the NBA stuff. So make sure you download that app, and let's thrive fantasy together there. Looking forward, very, very forward to that. All right, so we do want to thank once again our good friends over at Miami Acura for making us a part of this here. We certainly do appreciate their time, their effort, and we ask you, if you are in the market for a new car or even a certified pre-owned vehicle, make sure you head over to MiamiAcura.com. Check it out. Would love you to go take a test drive, the all-new 2019 RDX. Can I just tell you something? Ridiculous. It's like driving in your living room. All you have to do is set up a time, go take it for a test drive, get a deal like you've never seen before. 855-564-4669. Those of you, 305-954, hit them up. South Dixie Highway, Palmetto Bay. I see Jersey Kid Picks is popping around here, hanging out with us in the chat rooms, and we appreciate Jersey Kid Picks. Of course, like we do every Saturday, Jersey Kid Picks, we'll have our 2-minute drill with him. We'll talk about and highlight some of his favorite plays and some of the games that he's looking forward to on the card tomorrow. We love Jersey Kid Picks. When he comes on, it's just another example of the kinds of pros that you'll find on the Joe Raineri Show, which is why we ask you guys, follow us, retweet us, subscribe to us. We're only going to bring you the best of the best. We're not bringing you the guy sitting in his mother's basement telling you that he's the greatest thing since ice cream and he's 95% winners, and you never see this guy because he hides behind someone, some screen name like I Pick Winners or some shit like that. No, the guys that we bring on this show here are proven professionals. They have client bases that are as loyal as they come, and they're also people that I trust dearly, and I would never bring anybody on here and let you hear them or offer their services to you if I myself haven't A, spent money with them, or B, truly believed in them. It's a reflection on me. I don't like looking like an idiot, so I can tell you the guys that I bring on this show, the Prez and Ralph Michales and our boy there, Money Pick Matt, and the Captain's Capping, and the list goes on of the roster that we bring on this show. And we mix it up because they all do maybe a little different thing, like the Prez today talked NHL, which is great. Jersey Kid Picks, he loves his college and NFL. You got Ralph Michales, college basketball, crazy stuff. So we always bring on somebody different every week to give you an idea. Here's some different voices, different reasoning, different handicapping strategies. That's what you get here on the Joe Raineri Show. So I'd appreciate you guys. Spread the word to us. By all means, if you could, retweet, like our page, tell your friends about it, have them follow us. It would truly mean the world to us. Really, we appreciate it. We put a lot of effort and time into this, and so we trying to bring you the best of the best and trying to clear away a lot of the clutter that is all over, especially Twitter, with all of these guys claiming to be the smartest handicappers in the world. Well, I want to bring you the smartest handicappers in the world, and I want you to hear from them, and that's what we do here on the show. Want to thank our friends at YouWager.eu. It's the only place that we'd play our bets. Thrive Fantasy also. Get that download. All of these links will be available in the comments section. If you are on Twitter right now or Periscope, we're going to go ahead right up at the top of our page. We're going to go ahead and put the links to both of those in there. Open up your accounts there and become part of the Joe Raineri family. We'd certainly appreciate that. You're going to really, really, really have a good time with the Thrive Fantasy. I can tell you that. All right, so we want to get, if you didn't have a chance to hear, Ralph Michales joins us every Thursday, and we go over a whole bunch of the college and NFL games. He's also going to be joining us on Tuesdays talking some college basketball. So yesterday we had a chance to ask him about tonight's big game, Boise State, Fresno State. Now, Boise State, I couldn't remember the last time Boise State was an underdog on that blue carpet. But, of course, Ralph Michales did. And here's what he had to say about tonight's Boise State, Fresno State battle. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, this is the third time since 2000. So in 19 seasons, they've only been a home dog twice, and the last time was 2005, I believe, to Washington State, and then one other time early in the 2000s. But you know, they were also a home dog in the bowl game against Boston College in 2005. But we don't count that because it wasn't regular season. But you know, I love this Fresno team, and you know, they are a legitimate team both offensively and defensively. If you go back this season, I clearly have them as the best group of five team. Their only loss was by a touchdown at Minnesota, and if you remember the highlights for that game, it was probably one of the best interceptions I've ever seen by a Minnesota DB to save that game and give Minnesota the win over Fresno. Fresno's defense has held 5 of their last 6 opponents to a season low or a number 2 low. They're only allowing 300 yards per game. And this has been the most profitable team in football. They are 18-3-2 against the spread. So in their last 23 games, 2 of them have been a push, 18 wins, 3 losses. And because it's Fresno, because it's out west, because they don't get as much publicity as some of the other schools, these lines are still reasonable. Fresno also has revenge for the Mountain West championship game last year that Boise beat them in. They should have had home field edge, but the Mountain West had some weird rules. It all adds up to me, and Fresno gets the revenge and wins the Mountain West.
Wow.
Basically has control of the Mountain West to go to the championship game.
Well, there you go. Likes Fresno State tonight. I happen to like Fresno State as well. I think the over-under, last we checked, 52.5. You know, these are going to be 2 defenses. This is going to be one of the best defenses Fresno State has ever seen. They haven't exactly faced the cream of the crop, and the better defenses that they have faced, they've been averaging less than what they are on the season offensively. So if you're just going to run to the over there, you may want to take a second look at the number and the trends there. But certainly, if there was ever a spot where Boise State deserved to be an underdog at home, this could very well be the spot. One of the other games that we had a chance to talk, and first of all, wait, let me get this out of here too, because I love this. See, this is what I'm talking about. Here's what I'm talking about. So look at this tool bag. Look at this tool bag here. What is it? Sports asswipe. What's it called? Sports. Yeah. So we have we've got a promotion that runs. We got a spot that runs on Twitter talking about the roster of handicappers that we bring on here, guys that are truly the best, guys that we believe and that we know to be very reputable, guys that have been doing it forever, guys that would never steer you wrong. And we said, come here, hang out on the show, because these are the best hangout here. And, of course, sports douchebag over here has something to say that these are the best. I guess that's implying that, he's the best hanging out in his mother's basement right now, stealing Wi-Fi from the neighbor. I guess he wants to argue with, I don't know, the 40 years that Ralph has been doing it, or the 30 years that Jersey Kid's been doing it. You talk to the Prez today. I mean, he's another 35-year vet that's been in business. But no, certainly sports douchebag in his mother's basement stealing Wi-Fi. I'm sure you're the best. Only nobody that watches this show will ever know about you or ever hear from you, because you're exactly the kind of crap that we're talking about that litters Twitter and social media. It's people like you that make the actual pros that show up on this show. You're the ones who gives them a bad name. So, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, because I'm sure all you'll do is steal their information and try to pawn it off as your own. But the reality is, yes, they ain't never coming on this show. I can promise you that. And yes, the answer to your question is the pros hang out here. They do. The best hang out here on the show. That's why we bring them on. All right, so who else have we got? Alabama, Mississippi State. Can Alabama lose? Will they lose? Here's what Ralph had to say about the Alabama-Mississippi State game.
Well, it's simple for me. This Alabama team is as good as any team I've ever seen. I've been handicapping power ratings for about 18 years in college football, and I always start my power ratings at 100. So whenever I start the year, the top team, no matter who it is, gets a rating of 100. Therefore, I can always gauge it from one season to the next, and it gives me an assessment of how good a team is. Well, Alabama right now to me is 128. That's 10 points higher than any team that I've ever seen, and that was the USC Bush-Linehart team that was very good. This team, I would make a 10-point favorite over them on a neutral setting. But, if you want to, you need motivation to cover these big spreads. The thing I would do in this game, and it's been successful all year, Alabama is 9-0 against the spread in the first half. They don't pull their foot off the gas pedal. They play into that half full born. They keep that tempo. They try playing as hard as they can. In the second half, they start making some changes. As long as they have the lead, they're fine with that, and the other team often covers in the second half. So to me, I'm not going to step in front of Bama, but I would have an opinion on Bama in the first half, again, where they're 9-0.
Yeah, they're 9-0 there in the first half. They never lose. Well, that's the problem. They take their foot off the gas in the second half, which is why they're undefeated so far in the first half. They kind of did the same thing to LSU. They covered in the first half in there, and they're probably going to cover here. Although this will be the best defense Alabama has ever seen. We know that, but it's not going to be enough. Will it ever be enough? The only thing that Alabama's got to keep is to his health. We know Jalen Hurts is still a little banged up, so they are banged up in the quarterback position. So, one twist here or there might completely change the complexion of the Alabama season. But Alabama first half, there's been nothing that's been more money than that. So we'll keep an eye on there. One of the other games, of course, is the one right behind them. That would be Clemson. And I do want to send a shout out, by the way, to our boy Kentucky Lucky, who is watching us there, and we appreciate that on Periscope and Twitter. Appreciate you. Kentucky Lucky is definitely one of those handicappers that you will be hearing from as well. One of the best. The good news is he doesn't live in his parents' basements. And, he doesn't have to tell everyone how great he is. The fact that he's going to make it on this show will tell you exactly how good he is. So happy Friday to you, Kentucky Lucky. I know he's probably licking his wounds a little trying to figure out what that train was that came running through the Kentucky Wildcats known as Duke. But when we get him on the show, I want to get his thoughts on Kentucky and Calipari and where he thinks the season is going to be going there. But let's talk Clemson, because Ralph Michales, he had a thought on this game. Boston College, plus 20. Boston College is a real team in the ACC, okay, guys? Boston College is as close to a professional running game as you will see. Dillon is a first-round pick. The guy is a beast. Boston College can flat-out ball. Now you got a Clemson team on the road coming to town, and you're going to give them almost 3 touchdowns? Is it too much? Now, don't forget, Clemson went on the road to Florida State, and they were only favored by 17. Now, Boston College is way better than what Florida State has to offer this year. So you're going to tell me that you're going to give them 20 points, 21 points on the road at Boston College when you only gave 17 to Florida State? And we all know what happened to Florida State. So where do you go from here, Ralph? I mean, what do you think, Ralph? Can Boston College, can the money line come into play here? That's even a better question. Is it possible maybe to throw a couple of shekels on the money line?
I like Boston College with the points. I don't think I bet the money line because Clemson just has too much potential. But Boston College is another team that people don't talk about. Well, how about if I told you in Boston College's last 19 games, they're 16-3 against the spread.
Wow. Again,
you don't hear about them. They're a running team, but Anthony Brown is one of the best quarterbacks in the ACC with a 16-5 ratio. A.J. Dillon is one of the top 2 or 3 running backs in the ACC. He missed a couple games. He still has 900 yards, 5.5 yards per carry. You got a defense that just held Miami of Florida to a season low, held Virginia Tech, held Louisville to 217 yards, Virginia Tech to 392. So Boston College, to me, is a solid play as far as the dog goes. I mean, again, anytime you want to take a dog, if you want to sprinkle some points. But, Clemson and Alabama are those 2 teams that are just too good that I don't think they lose this year.
Yeah, I don't think that they lose either, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I'm watching that game last night. How many of you Wake Forest taking on North Carolina State? North Carolina State was a 19-point favorite in there. Plus 750, I think it was, right? Plus 775 for Wake Forest on the money line there. I'm not sure what the money line is in this particular game, but oh my. Wouldn't it be just crazy to watch Boston College take care of business and eke out a win there? And probably not going to happen. Clemson is loaded. Lawrence is the real deal at quarterback as a freshman. But 21 points, man, that is a lot of friggin' points to be laying. It really is. So I might just take a flyer, throw a couple of bucks down, and see what happens and take my chances. I do think Boston College can cover this game. I do think it'll be a little bit better than people anticipate. I think BC is going to be ready to go here, and I think Dillon's going to get some yards. I think they're going to open it up there. They got a pro-style offense at BC. They can put up some points. They got those big-ass tight ends that are going to be able to catch balls over the middle. This is going to be one of the better offenses that Clemson has seen this year. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll be a fun game. I don't think that this is going to be a blowout by any stretch of the imagination. But I'd taken my money, throwing a little bit on the money line. The other game that Ralph had talked about is also taken tonight. Ralph absolutely, he believes what we got here in, if I'm not mistaken, Ralph believes in Fresno State. We just played that for you. He also believes in Syracuse tonight, and so do I. And he had talked about how it's pretty much over for Bobby Petrino in Louisville, and the team has quit on Bobby Petrino. I do believe that there were 17, was it that the number? 17 of the players have already requested transfers on Louisville. They don't want to be here. He's not going to survive the end of the year, that being Bobby Petrino. I don't think he might not survive tomorrow after the ass whooping that Dino Babers and the folks at Syracuse are going to lay on him. So I do believe the line has moved a little bit. Let me double check the latest from YouWager.eu. We love our peeps at YouWager.eu. Let me check on the latest line on this game here tonight. See what we got. Minus 20. Syracuse minus 20. Take it all damn day. Take it all damn day. And no problem. This is going to be one of those 42-10 games. There is no way that Louisville competes on the road in Syracuse. Babers is going to run up the score big time. This is not even going to be close. So take it minus 20. Take Syracuse. Also, Fresno State minus 2.5 tonight. And I know Boise State in a very unfamiliar place, that being a home dog, but they're getting 2.5. I like it that way. I'm taking Fresno State. I think they are the real deal. Tedford's got these guys balling. They can flat out play. Sometimes when you look at sometimes we just overanalyze, and sometimes we go, man, if it's too good to be true, it's probably not. But in this case, Fresno State is the real deal. So I don't think there's any way around it. Fresno State should be a 2.5 point favorite. I think it'll be a close game, but I definitely think Fresno State can win this by a field goal or more. I would say even 3-7 is probably where this is going to end up. So lay the 20 on Syracuse and take the 2 and lay the 2.5 with Fresno State tonight. And I think that about wraps it up. Again, if you're just joining us, thank you very much, guys, for making us a part of your day. We ask that you follow, retweet, be a part of it, man. We'd love to hear from you. Feedback always welcome. Don't forget, if you missed the interview with the Prez, WagerTalk.com, he's got a great deal right now for you. You get 3 days of full access, all his picks, for just $25. Use the code PrezAll25. PrezAll25 at checkout. Go to WagerTalk.com. Also, he gave us his pick tonight, NHL, looking at the Toronto Maple Leafs and New Jersey Devils under 6 goals. Loves the under 6 goals. Doesn't think that either one of these two teams are going to be offensive juggernauts tonight in any way, shape, or form. So he likes the under 6. So we want to thank him very much for coming on. He'll be back on again next week. We keep talking about NHL. Nobody does NHL better than the Prez. So make sure that you guys take advantage of his 3-day all-access pass this weekend. Prez All 25. Head over to WagerTalk.com. Adam Weinstein, CEO of Thrive Fantasy. Guys, it's going to change the way that you do prop bets, and you'll probably never play FanDuel or DraftKings ever again. We've got so much more coming with these guys. Don't forget, check the comment section. Make sure you check out the pinned post on Twitter, guys. I'll have access and the links for not only Thrive, where you're going to get yourself a bonus there by signing up, but also our friends at YouWager.eu. So much going on here. So excited. And once again, I can't thank you guys enough for making us a part of your day. Again, if you could, subscribe, tweet, retweet, like, do all those good things. Jersey Kid Picks joins us tomorrow. You know the routine, 2-minute drill right around noon, getting you ready for those afternoon college football games. And then we'll be back on Sunday giving you the pregame show of all pregame shows, helping you guys make the right decisions before you head into the Sunday slate of games in the NFL. Thank you guys very much. Enjoy your night. Make sure you guys check out Thrive because you are going to love it. What do we got an update from? We got an update from the Miami Dolphins. Let's check in with the Miami Dolphins if we could. Oh, okay, there you go. Miami Dolphins. Good to go. As usual, Ryan Tannehill, the latest on Ryan Tannehill. We do have some breaking news, by the way. Latest on Ryan Tannehill, he has torn his labia. Is that not the right word? No? He has torn something, and he's nowhere close to being returned. That's what we're getting. Nowhere close to being coming back, which means Brock Osweiler this weekend against Green Bay and maybe for the rest of the year. Also, if you're just joining us, and this is just heartbreaking to me, but Dez Bryant, final play of practice, tears his Achilles. So if you don't have Brandon Marshall, you may want to go pick him up in fantasy. Just an absolute brutal, brutal way to go out after you wait 10 weeks to be able to hook up with the right team. The right situation comes, and that's what happens. That just sucks. beyond all sucks for Dez Bryant. I feel bad for him, man. I was really rooting for him. I really was. I thought that would be a great pickup for New Orleans. I'm a Drew Brees fan. I'm rooting for New Orleans. I really am. I think that they are the Rams are great, but I think New Orleans is just a cut above, and unfortunately, that's going to hurt them. But if they can get Brandon Marshall playing with an attitude, Brandon Marshall, again, is not a guy that is going to clear out secondaries. He's not a guy that's going to help stretch the field. He's a guy that's going to give you those contested over-the-middle catches that you're going to need for 3 to 5, 3 to 6 yards when you need a first down. That's the guy that you're going to want to go to. So if he's as good as they say he has been in workouts, then maybe a little rejuvenated Brandon Marshall will work out for the New Orleans Saints. But tough break for Dez Bryant. Torn Achilles, out for the year. Who knows what's going to happen? And let this be a lesson. I don't know what they're going to do with Le'Veon Bell, but being in shape and being in football shape are two different things here, guys. So I don't know. We'll see. The last thing that Le'Veon Bell's going to want to do is go out there and risk injury. I don't know how that's going to work and how that's going to play out, but I do wish him the best, that's for sure. All right, guys, enjoy your Friday. Enjoy the games. Make sure you retweet this. Check out the Prez interview in the beginning of the video here. Also, make sure you check out Thrive Fantasy. Check out the links, top of the page on Twitter, in the comment section. You guys have a great, great weekend. We'll talk to you tomorrow with the man himself, Jersey Kid Picks, 2-minute drill, 12 o'clock, getting you ready for your college games. Have a great night, guys. Thanks so much.